Welcome to Let's Get Creative, where we explore mindfulness, embrace healing, and unite mind, body, and soul to awaken your creative flow. Today we are joined by Wett Brain, the unstoppable creative force channeling music and storytelling into mental health advocacy, overcoming challenges with raw perseverance and artistic expression. Interpreting sober enough in your creative cycles. Your Instagram bio mentions sobering up every few years in LA to write songs. What does sober enough really mean for you in those periods? Is it about achieving full sobriety or more like a functional level that allows clarity for music without the full weight of long-term recovery? And how has this approach evolved over time? Linking periodic sobriety to the musical output, how do these cycles of sobering up directly influence your songwriting process as hinted in your bio? For instance, in tracks from EPs like Too Wet to Function, do you find that partial sobriety sparks raw creativity, or does it sometimes lead to frustration when the enough threshold isn't met? What's a specific example from your journey? Challenges and realities. You've shared about addiction and near-death experiences in interviews. How does committing to just sober enough each year or a few years play into avoiding those rock bottoms? What are your mental health or emotional hurdles you faced in maintaining that balance, especially in LA scene, and has it ever backfired? Sobriety as a catalyst for recovery in art. In the context of your recovery journey, including time in sober living with like Water Park, what role does this mindset play in broader healing? Does it serve as a stepping stone to deeper sobriety or more of a pragmatic tool for channeling pain into music? And how do fans respond to your sobriety-themed post reinforce this? Future perspectives. Looking ahead as your music career grows, do you see yourself moving past just sober enough and being fully sober? And how might experiences from wilderness programs or rehab, as discussed in your podcast appearances, inform a shift? And what advice would you give others navigating similar intermittent recovery patterns?
Okay, is that all one question?
No, that's just all the questions.
Okay, all right,
So then
all
that's
right,
where we're
cool.
just gonna talk, and
Cool.
knowing that we're gonna touch on those, and then wherever the conversation goes is where it goes.
Yeah, there was one thing. The only thing in there that I was like, uh, can you said Too Wet to Function or something? That was like this album that I put out just to like finish a record deal. Like I don't even like the shit on there.
So then let's talk about that. So then, like, have you felt pressure in your...
Like it's not one of my like I have some songs that have done like really well. That's like that the stuff that's on there was just like didn't do that good, and like I just put it out to like finish a deal, you know.
Well, so and I don't know if we touched on that with my video, is that I was an executive in the music industry. I was a CEO of a record label. Before that, I was a creative director for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
So I've been around, and all of my artists were all A-list. So I've worked with everyone from Outkast, Pussycat Dolls, R. Kelly,
sick,
Missy Elliott, just on and on and on. Ended my career with Rod Stewart and Robin Thicke and Cage the Elephant and Prince. I was Prince's creative when he passed away. So
Whoa.
there's a lot of things that I've
You
worked.
said Prince, Cage the Elephant, and who? Else?
Fits in the Tantrums, Rod Stewart, Robin Thicke. Like I've had some pretty cool artists. Duran Duran, Spice Girls, Pussycat Dolls.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's fun time. So I've worked with Interscope and Warner and Universal and Sony and Big Machine and...
Oh, sick.
Yeah, so I understand that. So in that process, like, so were you always struggling with addiction when in your music career?
Oh, yes, for sure. But all of the songs I put out as Wett Brain, like every single Wett Brain song that's on the internet, I was fully sober when I wrote it and recorded it. Probably when I put it out. Sometimes I might have been fucked off when I released a song, but
was there a reason? Like, is that what your
I
clarity is?
can't make music on.
Wow.
I can't create on. I don't want to. When I'm on, I just want to sit there and be on and watch TV. Like I don't give a fuck about making art. In my head, I'll be like, oh, I want to make art, but like the only thing that's on the internet that's Wett Brain, where I was high when I made it, was I have a verse on this song, Stacy's song. I just do a verse on the song, and like maybe a bridge. I think, or it's either just a verse and a bridge, or like a long verse. I don't know. I forget, but that's the only thing in my whole discography that I made when I was high.
Where did the name Wett Brain come from?
Oh, well, it's in the AA book, but also...
It is?
It is in the big book.
Yeah?
Yeah, but also, like, it was my nickname before I made music. Like, this lady, I met this lady, Muckrock. She's like a very well known street artist,
Okay.
and like female street artist, and just street artists in general. But yeah, I met her, and she was like the first person I met that was sober that I thought was cool. Like before, when I was around like sober people, they were like seemed so square and like lame to me, like because I'm from like Virginia, so like the sober people that I had been around was like older people that just, I don't know, it didn't connect with me. When I met Muck Rock, like that was the first like sober person I met that where I felt like that it like resonated with me, and that it inspired me to be like, okay, I kind of want to try to get sober.
So what was the difference? Like, so the people that were,
Oh, and she used to call me Wet Brain because I would still come around high. Like I would still be high in the
is
beginning.
that the term in the book of like wet brain means that you're still high?
Well, wet brain's a term that you get. It's a medical like slang medical term kind of thing for like people that give themselves like actual brain rot from drinking,
Sure.
like who just like, their IQ, like, let's just, to put it politely in words that I won't get in trouble for using, it like makes them, drops their IQ down
Sure.
severely from
Yeah.
drinking,
Sure.
and that's called
From
wet.
excessive use.
Yeah, that's, they get wet brain is what it's called. So she would just call me that as like a joke because I would just come around all high and like kind of out of it, and like I don't know,
And
like,
she was sober
yeah.
and influencing you.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
and it, yeah, it wasn't even a thing of like, she wasn't even like hating on me. It was just like,
Do you think
it was
that
just like my
helped? Do
nickname,
you think that helped you find your sobriety? That someone was sober and not really pushing you, but was still being supportive? Did that help you find sobriety?
Yeah, for sure. Like she definitely was just like the doors open, but never like trying to force me to do it or anything
Sure.
like that.
The reality is, and we say it all the time here, is that if you're not ready, you're not ready.
Yeah, I would agree with
I
that.
can want it
Yeah,
for you, but
yeah.
until you want it, there's nothing that any of us can do.
Yeah, I think that was like something that was really attractive about Muck Rock, and the way that she did moved was that like she had meetings at her house too every Saturday night, and like that was like my entry point, I guess, to all of it. And yeah, it was just like, come if you want, and if not, like it's all good. Like, just like you have to identify as an alcoholic if you come through, and that was it. That was like the only rule. So if I came, I just had to be willing to say I was addict, alcoholic.
So did the
But that
music?
was like pretty easy to admit.
Sure, sure. Yeah. Well, so did the music come first, or did the music come after the addiction?
Well, I'd fucked around with music my whole life, but
So you knew you were creative, and you knew you had a gift.
I wouldn't go that far. Like I played guitar like in high school, and like in the jazz band at school, and like I just kind of played guitar in the beginning, and then I got sent away, and like,
Is that to Wilderness?
yeah, wilderness and boarding school. I met this kid, Greg Jones. He's like a big electronic music artist. He goes by G Jones, and
Okay.
he's actually like a huge electronic guy. But I met him in boarding school, and we became like really good friends. And my buddy Andy, Pancakes, and like just a couple of people that like still do music and shit now. But they just were really into music. The kids that I was like stuck in boarding school with, and like Greg was like, oh, it just made it seem like it was the coolest thing that you could do with your life, and like just super important. So I don't know, I just gravitated towards that, and I was like, I guess if I'm gonna pick something to do with my life, like music seems pretty cool. Like before I got sober, I had like a studio apartment in Hollywood, and it was like a total, like, we weren't squatting, but it might as well have been like a squat, you know what
Sure.
I mean? Like it was just like a bunch of me and a bunch of my friends that would have been homeless, like living in my studio apartment.
Yeah.
And like I was just like trying to make like try to make EDM music. I was trying to make electronic music as a producer. I've made a couple of my beats, but they're very like simple. They're just like a trap beat, which I
Sure.
could show like a 10-year-old how to make a trap beat. That's not that difficult. I can produce, and I mix and master, and I engineer a lot of my stuff because I went to school for some of that. But yeah, before I got sober, I was just like in my room high trying to make EDM, and it was like terrible, it wasn't good. And then when I got sober, I realized like that my strength was songwriting and like singing. And so that's what I do now. Like I'm just a vocalist now.
So do you
really.
think that your struggles with addiction has been your source of your songwriting?
I think some of it, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Like I think some of it, but the important distinction is that like I have never made a good song high.
I get it, but I'm just saying. But I think that
But yeah, the
some of the
struggles,
information
yeah,
is like that you're
totally,
actually
yeah,
you're pulling from
a
your
hundred
from your
percent,
addiction.
yeah, for sure.
Did it help you process your addiction?
Mm,
For me, when I wrote the song Santa Monica Boulevard, putting it on paper seemed to just actually be like, okay, it's been heard now. You know, like I can actually lay that out. And I think that the spoken word or putting it out on paper.
For me, my drug addiction is not that complex or difficult, I don't think, to understand. It's that I am like a mindless, self-indulgent fucker. I like to feel good, and like shooting heroin feels great. Like it
But
feels
so how
amazing.
did you get?
That's like I do have trauma, of course, and I do like, but at the end of the day, like I'm a drug addict, sex addict, love addict, whatever. Not as much a love addict anymore, but definitely still have some sex addiction stuff, and like definitely still a drug addict, but I'm sober. But it's not that, it's for me, it's like it's not that deep. It's like I'm just like a, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just indulgent. Like if it feels good, I want more and more and more. You know what I mean?
Well, so but where did you get to that? I mean, for me, I think that sometimes I'm having the conversations and thinking.
Oh, but wait, I will say this about what you asked me though. Did it help me process my addiction? I don't know that it helped me process my addiction so much as it gave me something to do with the pain.
Caused by the addiction?
Life.
Yeah.
And the addiction, anything.
Like what kind of pain?
My biggest song is a song called Suicidal. It has like 30 million plays across platforms. And I wrote it like right after the worst breakup of my life was with this girl. Like I was like I really loved her, and I think she loved me and cared about me, but it just, I think like she was just had a little bit more self-love than me at the time, even though she was like actually like more kind of fucked off a little bit on drugs and stuff. I think that she knew certain things, like had certain knowledge about herself, and just maybe had like a little bit more like self-love in a certain way. I'm digressing, but anyway, just we broke up, and then I wrote that song Suicidal because I was like heartbroken. I was like so heartbroken about it, and yeah, and then it did like really good. I think about it all the time, is like people that don't make shit, like that don't create art, your pain has nowhere to go.
Even when we have concepts of like good ideas that we think like, oh, I should build this or I should create that, and we don't write it down,
Right.
then it's just a fleeting thought.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes that's with pain, is I think sometimes we might be present with the pain and then we don't write it down.
Yeah.
And then it just goes back into the back of our head, and then it gets compounded because we didn't actually like process it.
Right.
And so then we have another relationship that treats us similar.
Right.
And it builds and builds and builds.
Yeah.
When if we could just, that's why I was saying about the song that I wrote.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't necessarily trauma that I was in. It was just that I couldn't explain what I was feeling.
Oh, yeah.
The loss that I was feeling was so great that I felt suicidal.
Right.
And then when I was able to write it down and literally even just say that's over.
Oh,
and this has ended.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Then
now.
I left going, I feel heard.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's just like I've said it and it's out there. And now others can hear it and appreciate it for their own interpretation of it.
Totally.
And I even had one person that said, wow, this is my story about meth. And I was like, how is my love story a story about meth for you? And it's just like, well, it was the same thing. It was like you pull and you push me away. The drugs were pulling him and then pushing him away.
Yeah.
And tell me to go and tell me to stay. I'm talking about love, but they're talking about an addiction.
Yeah, yeah.
And then that was really refreshing to me to say, oh, wow, my pain and my story can be someone else's story and be completely different subject matters.
Totally, yeah.
So
No,
it's like,
yeah, I feel that.
it could be metaphoric, it could be, how they identify, it could be an emotion. And that's where, because I had never written a song. I'd worked for, so many years in the music industry, and you'd think that since I was around it, I would have been like at least attempting.
Yeah.
But I think that was part of my trauma, was that I had I was so self-loathing that I never thought that I had the talent level to be able to write how I felt. Because that's all songwriting is sharing how you feel.
But yeah, I think that the pain and all that stuff, it's like the fuel, it's like the gasoline for like creating stuff, in my opinion. So it's like I feel bad sometimes for people that don't have an outlet, like because they don't think that they're talented enough or they don't see the point. But it's like realistically, it's just it's a release, and it's like, and it does, you can use that stuff as, like when you know that you can do something with your pain, like when you know that you can recycle it and turn it into something, you're not so scared of it.
It's almost like you gain power back.
Yeah, like people spend their whole life really running from pain and fear of like living in fear, and I think that when you're an artist and you understand that you can recycle pain and stuff, it's like you realize you don't need to run from pain so much. You don't need to be so living in fear that like it's okay. You're gonna feel pain. You're gonna feel fucked up shit, but you can do something with it. You can like turn it into something beautiful.
Sure.
And I think
Either from sharing your story or getting the frustration out,
yeah,
or it can fuel motivation. I mean, I think that some of the most successful moments in my life is when people tell me that I'm going to fail.
mm-hmm.
So, and that's painful to hear someone say, you're never going to be able to make it.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, well, you gave me just the right amount of energy to
Yeah.
say, yeah, now I'm going to work harder
That's
than I
true,
was going to
too.
before.
Yeah.
It's like my sister,
Yeah.
oftentimes will tell me to like shave my beard.
Mm-hmm.
So there's times when my beard gets really long and I'm really about to shave it because I'm just like, oh, I'm so annoyed with
Yeah.
this. Then my sister's like, you need to get rid of that beard. And then I'm like,
And you don't want to
never
now.
shaving it.
Yeah.
I'm going to grow it until it's this big.
Yeah, I feel you.
But I think that that's human behavior. You know, sometimes being told no
yeah.
is the motivating factor for the yes.
Yeah, no. I agree. It's like it can definitely motivate you. I think like that was part of what motivated me to be like to try to be so successful. I'm not saying I'm the most successful artist in the world, but just to become somewhat successful was like all of the people I think that just didn't expect me to do that.
Sure.
I know my parents loved me, but I don't think that anyone's expectations were really set that high for me. Like the bar I think was set pretty low because I mean as a kid I was like an intravenous heroin addict.
When did that, how old were you when it started?
I started shooting up probably when I was like 17 or 18.
So how did you get exposed to it? Like what was the first time you were exposed to heroin?
Well, it just started with Vicodin. Like this kid that lived in like the apartment complex that I had an apartment in would trade me like a bunch of Vicodin for like weed because I sold weed.
Sure.
And yeah, he was like he traded me this giant ass jar of Vicodin, like dude, some crazy script, like you know, probably over 100 pills, like for he didn't know what he had. He was like this like kid just wanted to smoke some weed. He was like a young kid, and we were like a little older, and he was like, yeah, I'll give you this whole thing. Can I just get like an eighth? And I was like, yeah, dude, for sure, you can get an eighth. Yeah. Like I should have been giving him way more than that, sure. But I was like, sure, dude, yeah. And then so me and my friends were like eating that like it was candy, and then going to work at my friend's dad's company, my friend Morgan Tomasevich's dad's company at the time, who his dad was sober too, which was crazy. Like, and we were all struggling with addiction. And his dad was like so cool though, you know, he would just like really nice to us and just like welcoming and like let us come work there and like paid us, you know, like a decent little wage. And I think he probably had judgments about what we were doing, but I think he wanted us to be well and stuff, but I think he knew that like all he could do is just be nice to us and love us, and like, and we were going to ultimately do whatever we were going to do, you know what I mean? But so, but yeah, their whole family was really great to me, the Tomasevich family, like growing up. But anyway, so to get to your point, it started with Vicodin, and then we basically ended up getting sick one day because we ran out of Vicodin. We got sick at work, and we're like...
So you were having opiate withdrawal, and you didn't even know what that was?
Yeah, I'm like, I didn't even know what opiate withdrawal was. Like, yeah, and then, we got sick as fuck, dude, and I just remember, we told, like, our buddy's, like, older brother, we're like, dude, I think we're sick from not having this shit. We like, deduced that was why we were sick. Like, it didn't hit us at first. But I think like we talked to enough people or like something that we realized like, okay, we need more of this shit. Love the Vicodin stuff, the opiate or whatever. Yeah. And then so our friend's older brother was like, okay, well you can either like buy more Vicodin, which is gonna cost you a lot of money, or you can like just buy like these like little wax bags of heroin. And like we were like, okay, I guess we'll just buy heroin. And at that point, we're just like, okay, we'll just snort it. We'll just snort heroin.
So here's my question, and this is often the question that I'll ask people is like, so I think that it's fairly inherent for us to have fear about doing certain things. Did you not have any fear of heroin when that was offered up? Like, oh, you should take a little
No, I did. Yeah, no, I definitely did.
Were you like, I'm terrified to try this?
Oh, I was definitely like, yo, I don't know about all that. You know, like, I don't know about heroin, bro. Like, I'm not really... But I was sick.
Yeah. So
I was like, I don't really want to do heroin because it's pretty gnarly. But, like, because my goal at that point in my life definitely was not like it might have seemed like it had been, but it wasn't to be a heroin addict. Like, you know, I think deep down I aspired for more than that, but I knew, I don't know, I was a drug addict and I was sick and I didn't know. So I was just like, well, I was like, I don't really have a whole lot of choice here. Like, I don't want to keep feeling this sick. And so I don't really want to get into heroin, but like, I don't even know who to get Vicodin from right now.
Sure.
All I really have is the option to like get these little wax bags
And
of
you
heroin.
didn't feel that this was an opportunity for you to go and speak to your family and say, I need help?
No, dude. I think that because I got sent away when I was younger, I think that I saw my family as like the last fucking people.
So you already, because then that brings up an interesting story that I have about Gabor Mate. You know Gabor Mate?
Yeah.
So Gabor Mate was interviewing, oh God, I always forget her name, and I mention this often. She wrote Let Them. So the author of Let Them was talking about being molested when she was younger, and she said, it all started when I was molested. And he interrupted her and said, no, it didn't. And I was thinking, oh, wow, this is very challenging for someone to say that's not where it started, because like being molested is a big deal. And he said, you have kids, right? And she said, yes. And he said, if your kids were molested, would you want them to tell you? And she said, absolutely. And he said, and if they didn't tell you, what would you think? And she would say, what did I do wrong? You know, what was, and he said, exactly. So you being molested is not where it started. It was what happened in your family, that when you were molested, that you didn't go to them and tell them that.
Right.
So this is
That's a good point.
Well, so back when you're saying that you didn't have trauma, there's big T and little T trauma.
No, yeah.
And the
I
thing
actually
is
love that.
you're in
like
a really desperate moment,
yeah.
and you didn't feel safe enough to go and speak to the people
Yeah.
that should be able to have helped you.
Yeah, for sure. I also like at the same time I've always been like the type of person that's like, I think I think also like at that moment it wasn't as big of like a crisis in my head. I was like, okay, I'll just buy this shit and snort it and like whatever. Like I already do drugs, like fuck it. You know, because I didn't want to get on heroin, but I was like, oh, I'm not going to shoot it. I'm just going to snort it or whatever. Like I wasn't like didn't like needles. I was scared of needles. I still don't like needles. Like people get like hooked on the needle thing. Like I shot up a lot. I did not like needles ever. Like that wasn't my shit. You know what I mean? I don't like blood.
We hear from parents all the time. Oh yeah, my son or daughter would never do that because they don't even like getting a shot. And I was like,
yeah, that goes away though.
People don't enjoy doing drugs.
Yeah,
they enjoy the high of doing
right.
them.
Yeah,
and even people that I know, even when when I was younger and experimenting, everyone that I knew that did cocaine, they called it the devil because they hated it.
Yeah.
They hated it from the very first line they enjoyed, and then after that they hated it the rest of the night.
Right, yeah.
They were too high, and then they were too drunk. And then they were too high, and they were too drunk. And then their heart was racing, and they didn't want to do it again.
Yeah.
Then they wake up with a headache and with a nosebleed,
yeah.
And then they do it again.
Yeah.
That is, most people in addiction don't enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, I will say like when it was when it was working when I was younger, like I definitely did enjoy being high.
You enjoyed the high. You enjoyed the high. But I'm saying, but you didn't enjoy the battle.
I didn't enjoy like trying to poke myself for an hour.
Or find it or come down from it.
Yeah, no. Like having to drive out to like 45 minutes to get it, poking myself for an hour, like all that. No, I didn't enjoy that part. But as soon as I hit, I enjoyed that part.
Of course,
though,
that's everyone. Anytime that, you might not like to do surgery or have a broken arm replaced, but when they give you the medication and you feel relief, because I think that's really what it's about. Is I think addiction comes down to relief.
Yeah,
we're all looking
totally.
For
I think
relief.
I agree with that. Like that's I think for me, I think like I do like the lowercase t and like capital T trauma. I do think because there is like little trauma, there's big trauma. Like
there's even situations where I always have theories about this, and I try to come up with when I'm teaching groups or I'm counseling that I'm trying to like explain it to people. And it's like, even if you had the best childhood, you have the best parents, your parents were like saints, like they really were, like they were the leaders of all leaders. The reality is as an infant, you're either breastfeeding or nursing on a bottle. Then as you grow older, they have to take the bottle from you, or you're removed from the breast.
Right.
You've never known anything except for that. That's traumatic. There's no way that that's not traumatic to a baby. So we're all we're all given trauma from the very beginning.
Right, right,
So,
right,
because then we don't know at 3 years old that you're going to grow up to eat pizza and hot dogs and
right, right,
whatever.
right.
You think that the only thing that's keeping me from starving,
Yeah,
they just took from me.
yeah,
There's no way that your brain doesn't say,
yeah,
abandoned, I'm alone, they don't care for me.
yeah,
So I think that that's important, is that it's part of life to have trauma,
yeah.
but it's about
But
how
I'll
we
also,
process.
yeah, no, yeah, for sure. I agree with that. I do think though, like, I don't remember them taking my bottle.
Of course
You
you
know
don't,
what
but
I
it still
mean?
doesn't mean that your body didn't react to it, because
Yeah, yeah,
there's a
yeah.
book called Body Keeps the Score.
Oh,
You might not remember it, but it
yeah,
still happened.
yeah.
So most people that were molested don't remember any of it.
Oh, okay.
Most people that were abused don't remember it. Most people that their parents fought all the time, they don't
Mm-hmm.
remember it. Because we also learn how to love. There's many families that yell and scream at each other, and then when we get older, we look for a partner that we yell and scream with
Yeah,
because that feels familiar.
yeah,
That doesn't mean that we remember that being traumatic. It's just how we know it. There's
yeah,
many families that culturally they're just loud screaming at each other
yeah.
with full love.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't mean that that's necessarily healthy.
No, no, no. I feel you. Yeah.
And I think we go through life and we don't realize it. For me, for example, I've always thought that I was like, at some point I thought I was a medium because I had such great intuition. Like I felt the energy when people walked in the room. I knew exactly what people were thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Until I processed my past, I didn't realize that was hypervigilance. And the reason I was so good at it is because from a young age, I walked into a room and had to scope the room to see who I was safe with.
Yeah, that's
So it's like,
okay.
but I went through my whole life with this skill that I just thought was a skill, when in fact it was a trauma response.
Yeah,
And even my dating life was just that. Like even the codependency manifested with me doing so much for a partner because I thought that was my identity of like,
right.
oh, I just love big. I just love to love everyone.
Yeah,
I didn't know that I was loving, trying to get validation for
yeah.
saying I'm worth loving.
Yeah, well, I have that issue too sometimes with people is like I do a lot for people, like for my friends, for like romantic partners, whatever. I do a lot for people, and I'm sure that there's part of it that's some of that maybe, but also like I've always been like pretty open about like I'm not like from the hood, you know what I mean? Like I come from like a pretty like affluent family. Like they're not like
Sure, you went to wilderness. That doesn't happen.
yeah,
That
like
doesn't
they're
happen
not
for.
like yeah, like they don't like own fucking Coca-Cola, but like they're not like poor. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
sure.
So like
So what happened for you to go to wilderness?
um oh, I was like smoking weed and skipping school. Uh but what were you talking about right before that? Like
We were talking about Gabor Mate and like and not understanding what happened before.
oh no
Why
no
why
no
you couldn't.
I know why I said that. Okay, because the loving big thing, like I always felt like because I came from a family of like some means that that I always felt like because I had more that I should help more.
Same. I feel exactly the same way.
Yeah.
But that means that you think that you owe people when we don't. We don't owe
Yeah.
anybody anything.
I don't necessarily think that I owe them. I like feel bad. You know?
Same. And I think that compassion sometimes comes with codependency
Yeah.
because I want to save the world. And
Mhm.
I read this in my journey. I read this great book called The Completion Process with Till Swan, written by Till Swan, and it felt very relatable to me because in the beginning of the book it was just saying how her objective in life was to end world suffering. Like
Mhm.
she wanted to, and that was kind of what I resonated with that because even when I was a kid, I used to see people on the side of the road and I felt compassion for
Yeah.
them, and I felt like,
Mhm.
oh, I wish we could save them.
No, I feel you.
And then I knew that was kind of my burning desire about why I was doing so much all the
Yeah.
time. I was always trying to help, trying to donate my time in philanthropy and charity and cooking for people
Yeah.
and giving somebody a place to stay. And if someone said they're looking for a job, I'm like, let me help you.
Right.
Like it was constant.
Yeah. Do you think
And
there's something wrong with people who don't feel like that? Like who don't look at the guy that's homeless like on the side of the road and feel bad?
I think that it's equal parts. I think we got to find the middle ground. I
Yeah.
think it's fine to have compassion, but it's really about asking.
No, I'm saying, do you think if you look at that guy and you don't
Yeah.
feel anything, do you think there's something wrong with you?
I do. I think it's the same. I think it's just an aversion from emotion. I
Yeah.
think that if you can block out that someone's suffering on the street, then that means that you're blocking out something that you don't want to feel.
Oh, okay.
And I think the same as if you feel like you have to rescue everyone on the street, then you're blocking out something that you're trying to make up for.
Yeah.
So I think that I can't say there's something wrong with you, but I don't relate to people that don't have compassion for people that are
Right.
because
yeah.
I can look at every person on the street, every person using drugs, every person that's homeless, every person that has mental health issues, and say, I can relate.
Yeah.
Because the thing is I
for
I
sure.
partied when I was
Yeah.
younger. I partied, like we went at it. We
Yeah.
really went at it. And every time that I did drugs, I was taking the same chance that you took when you did heroin.
Mm-hmm.
I could have also become a heroin addict.
Totally.
Every time that I
Yeah.
did something, I was risking that as well.
Yeah, no, I often think about, like, even in the worst of times in my life, like today, like, even if I have, like, even if I'm, like, looking at all the stuff that's not going the way that I want, right? Like, in my life, if I look at all of it today, like, or whatever, on any day, like, I always think about, like, I could so easily be in prison for, like, an extended period of time
Sure.
that I don't.
You got away with some of the things that people didn't get away with.
I'm just like, I'm so lucky that I'm
Sure.
not in a jail cell, like, for a lot, like, for a while.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I just
Like,
said it to a client
I'm so lucky I never killed anybody, or, like,
Sure.
on accident, or, like, this
Well, I
or
don't think
that,
people
you know,
think
like,
about that. I talked to a client a couple of days ago. We were discussing just that, and I just said, "You're not in prison. You didn't kill anybody.
mm-hmm.
You can start over today,
Right.
and say, I've been so lucky. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to put all of this in my past because you've done these 200 things that could have landed you there,
Yeah.
and it didn't. So stop
Yeah.
today and say." But it's like the drug dealer that got away with not getting arrested,
Yeah.
and they just want to sell one more batch.
Yeah.
Then they go to prison for life. It's like when you're at the place where you've not had anything bad happen, that's the time to say, okay, I'm cutting my losses
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm moving on. And you can have a great life and leave it all behind you.
Yeah.
You don't have to. I think a lot of times people think about it as their identity. Like
Yeah.
once they've been called an addict for long enough, once they've battled with recovery long enough, then they just say, I never can.
Yeah.
But it's not true.
Like, I'll never get past this type of thing.
Yeah, because there's many people that have been drug addicts for 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
And they've been sober for 20 or 30 years as well.
Yeah, well, I think because you said you're like a mental health, and
Yeah.
I thought that honestly, like, because I will say this, like, I don't really want to be seen as like a sober artist or something. Like, I'm just an artist. I'm just a guy. I'm not necessarily like trying to be out here like advocating for this or that or whatever. Like, I'm just trying to kind of like do my thing, and I'll tell my story, and like hopefully it helps people and they can relate or something. But I'm not necessarily trying to be like the poster guy for anything, but like Jordan told me that you also talk about mental health
Sure.
and that kind of thing, and I think that for me, like, I think AA is like great. Like, I think it's great. I think it totally works. I'll go to meetings. I do have a sponsor, but like, I'm not like super engaged all the time with
Sure.
it. Like, I definitely do become disenfranchised a lot with it. Like, because I think that the thing about AA is like it works, and in theory it's great. But the problem for me is that, like, has sort of been that, the like meat and potatoes of what really helps you in AA is like reading with other people and like taking them through the book, like sponsoring other people and taking them through the stuff, and that's where you get, like, that's where I found the most relief. But the problem is that I didn't always have a lot of opportunity to, like, people would hit me up to like go to a meeting or like talk to me or something in the sober community, but a lot of times it was just because they wanted to like meet me or get to know me or like this or that or whatever. It wasn't like they were super serious about going through the book, and like that. So it was just, I knew guys that's like, they got asked to be sponsors all the time. You know what I mean? They were like seen as like that guy. And so it's like for those people, like AA really works, and it's like very like kind of easy because people are asking them to sponsor them all the time. But for the dude that's like not getting asked to do that a lot, it's a lot more challenging because what really helps fight your disease is when you're sitting there with another person working through the book. And so it's like, it's just like, if you don't get a lot of opportunity, and like, look, you can go to meetings and you can raise your hand every time they ask for about sponsors, and you can try to meet newcomers and all that stuff, but like, they say it's a simple program, right? Well, that's not simple. Like, having to like do all that,
take someone's sobriety in your hands is not simple.
yeah, like having to do all that isn't a simple thing. Like, it's scary just to walk up to people and like that you don't know and like tell them like, oh, do you need a sponsor? Like, try to solicit that. It's just like, it is more than people crack it up to be sometimes. And so that's why I think I get disenfranchised with it sometimes. It's not like as simple as some people make it out to be. Does it work? Yeah, it does. It does work for sure. But do I think it works for everyone? I think it could work for everyone, but I don't
think that anything works for everyone.
Yeah.
I think the thing is that your journey, you came into with a specific story, not my story.
It takes a village, in my opinion.
Of course, but there's no way that your story and my story have the same path of recovery.
Totally.
It just doesn't. We came into it differently, different circumstances, different personalities, different dynamics. So why would I think that your way and my way should be exactly the same? Which is why I've created, creative recovery. Even the play on the name is like, well, yes, we use creative arts to do the recovery process, but we also are saying, if you've tried everything, let's get creative about what we do for you, because AA might be the opposite for you. And for me, for example, AA, if I were an addict, if I was an alcoholic and I was trying to get recovery, AA would have been a trigger for me because I had such a strange relationship with God. So if you're trying to force me to use a higher power, while I'm trying to figure out my higher power, it could have been very traumatic for me. So, and I've now found my path through multiple layers of meditation, and I can take from Christianity and Judaism and Buddhism and Hinduism, because I really do believe that they're all the same. I believe that we're all culturally just being taught how to connect spiritually, and then the same thing as someone trying to say you should be in AA or you should do this, you should do that, is the same that's happened in religion. It's like, you should believe how I believe or you're wrong.
Yeah.
And it's not true. The reality is and I tell my nephew, I have a 13-year-old nephew, and I tell him often, because he's being raised in the same church that I was raised in, and I don't tell him not to believe them. I tell him, do what you feel for your spirituality, not what I feel, not what that church feels, because your relationship with the higher power is yours and yours alone. And the same thing, and I tell him, because he's very, he's in the stage where everyone's influencing everything that he does, whether he likes something. And I said, if you like something, then just like it. Your friends don't need to like it. If you like because we were talking about Matchbox cars. One of his friends didn't like his car, but he was really excited about it. You can be excited about your car. Your friend can be your own person. Your friend can hate that car, and that's okay. You can be like, cool. Then don't get my car. Because I love this car. Because that's really life. Is like we don't have to live the same journey. We don't have to believe the same things. We don't have to recover the same way. And that's where I was very interested in, like your bio, where it said that you get just sober enough. And the reason I liked that is that I don't ever push sobriety on anyone. The reality is it doesn't matter what you are or you're not doing, because someone that's not completely sober can still be very much on their healing journey. They could be drinking less than they used to. They could be not using XYZ, but they're still drinking wine. That doesn't mean that you're not recovering. You're on a path to recovery. So I think that putting that delineation that says addict and sober, like you said, the difficult path of AA is like, well, that's hard. You're going from like completely getting wasted to nothing.
To like soliciting to like read a book with people every day of
Totally.
like
You went from being an
of
addict
your
that wasn't
life.
doing anything
Yeah, yeah,
productive,
yeah.
and now you're supposed to be doing the most productive.
Yeah, because also the thing is like I'm a pretty bad addict. So I a lot of times in AA people will say like, "Oh, you got to get, 6 months to sponsor or you got to get through the steps to sponsor or whatever." It's like, "Hey, if I could do that, I wouldn't need to be here."
Yeah.
So, my
Because
sponsor
you feel like that's you sponsoring is beneficial for your sobriety,
that's the relief. Like that's what
and you feel like
takes
you're missing
place
out
of
on
the
it because of the
drugs.
rules.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what's taking place of the drugs is helping this guy, this helping people a few times a day, getting outside.
You know, I've
of
never
myself.
heard anybody say that because it's like, and it's interesting that that's what
It took
you
me
feel.
7 years before anybody fucking said that to me, and I
That's
was
so good.
pissed. This is crazy, actually, that we're talking about that on here, because like, I went to fucking AA all the time trying to figure out what it was about this shit
But you're supposed to be
that
getting.
worked for people,
Yeah.
that made people get 20 fucking years sober.
Yeah.
And dude, it was years before I had this guy named Michaelis, and like my buddy Robbie who owns Blackburn, but really him and Michaelis. But it was really more Michaelis because he was like the one that really I think spoke it to Robbie a certain way, who told me, or Michaelis might have just said it to me directly, but it was that's like the meat and potatoes of AA.
The magic is
taking
this.
someone else through it, and if you can do that with a couple of different people a couple of times a day, you're gonna feel a lot better. And it's the repetition of the book that reminds you you're a drug addict too. Like doing that. So that's where the magic is.
Sometimes it's about taking responsibility because not only are you trying to be sober for yourself, you now are taking somebody else's sobriety in your hands and maybe when it comes down to you wanting to use, you say, I can't. I've got 3 people that are depending on me.
That too.
And I've got to help them stay sober as well.
Yeah. But so my point to that was to say, it's my belief that you should be, as soon as you're a couple pages into the book, you should be taking other people through the book. And you should be taking as many people as you can through the book. It's just always not the easiest thing in the world to come about that opportunity is what I'm trying to say. So that is the difficult part for me with AA. But I do think for most addicts...
I love how passionate you got about when you actually, it triggered with you. Of why.
Yeah, dude, because it was frustrating as fuck for me to go there for that long.
You can't be the only one. You're not the only one.
Somebody say to me like, no, this is what is helping people the most about it. And like, you'd think that would be said so often, but it's the thing is there's so many people in AA and there's so many meetings and there's so much shit that that message gets fucking diluted, dude, to like, it's like, it's to get, I need short and sweet. Like I need short, sweet, and potent for to stick in my brain and me to understand. And
I don't know that that's very different than most people that are addicted, because the thing is when they're trying to get relief, they want some immediate. How am I going to get this relief?
And so that would, like, when they explain it to me, it's like, yeah, you should be taking a couple guys through it as soon as you possibly can. You're gonna get some relief from that. That's gonna help you not to use drugs. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. And then, so that's why I said I do think, like, for most addicts, it can work. Like, is if you do that, like, you will probably get the intended result.
Sure.
Most likely. But it's just sometimes there's more difficulty in obtaining that opportunity to work with all these people than they make it out to be.
So if you could restructure, I mean, say you're creating your own sobriety program, your new AA, then what would that look like? Would it be, immediately showing people that that's, even if it's day one and you just say, hey, shortly you're going to be working with others and that's going to give you great relief.
Yeah. When they come in the door, tell them that.
Today is rough, but in a couple of days and a couple of weeks, you're going to get some relief.
We're going to give you a couple people that you can read with that have came in after you.
Yeah.
That are a little bit newer than you.
Well, because I think it's important. Like we have clients that will come through here. And
you're going to do it this way. Here's the other thing that I think is kind of fucked sometimes is there's so many different ways to go through the book and do the steps and da-da-da-da-da. Dude, okay. There needs to be like a way, right? I don't think like it can't just be this like super democracy, like super duper democracy. Like do it whatever the fuck way you want. It's like, listen, if you get in a car accident and you need to file an insurance claim, there's a specific way to do that. You call it, you know what I mean? Like, if you want to get somewhere, if you want to get from point A to point B, most of the time it really helps if there's a specific way to get there. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I think that with AA, that's part of the problem sometimes, is that there's so many different ways to skin a cat. And it's like, for these people who are struggling with a life-threatening disease, or whatever you want to call it, I don't always think it's a disease, but I mean, whatever. I don't want to get into all that. But the people that are struggling with this fucked up problem, they don't, if they need a specific, sometimes I think they need a direct route.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? They don't necessarily need everybody having a different opinion
Sure.
on.
And I think that sometimes one of the downfalls that I see in the industry, and obviously I'm new to it, but I think that the empathy and the compassion in that space is too much.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there literally is like, you need to do this, 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 and this.
Yeah.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Because the thing is there's so
you
much
need a direct roadmap, dude.
Well, when people come in
a
here,
way,
then they say, I'm not comfortable with this and I don't want to do that. And everyone's like, well, that's okay. Maybe we can navigate it. I'm like, no, you need to tell them this is how you have to do this to begin with. There's only one way.
Yeah.
The body works a certain way.
Yeah.
We've got to get you through a withdrawal.
Right.
We've got to get you to the next step of this. Then after you get to a certain level, then you can choose whatever your path is for your life. But you've got to do a certain amount of steps to get you there.
Yeah. So if I was going to make one, I think that's what it would be. It'd be a little bit more like hands-on. Like when you came in, like you'd start taking people through it in a few days, and like, and people would be a little bit more like, all right, we're going to help give you a few people,
Sure.
We're not,
because this is going to give you relief.
Yeah. Cause it's it's just harder enough to go find these people. And it's like there could be just more people that are a little bit more hands-on. Like the sponsorship people at meetings, like it's like, oh, come see me if you need a sponsor and we'll get you somebody, you know what I mean? But it's like, I guess that is kind of like that, but it's sort of like, it's just not taken as serious sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I think there would just be more.
Even if it was just you sitting in on somebody that has had a long sobriety, that's actually guiding somebody, then you could be the one that sits in with them to also read and help guide them through. But someone's teaching you how to do that.
And then I think the other thing I would change would just be like that there would be like more of like this is like how you read the book. This is how you do the steps. This is the exact fucking thing. Because like the way that Michaelis, like my homie that I read with or whatever, like takes me through it, it's like, and tells us to take other people through it. It's an exact thing, and it comes. It's
rigid.
Again, it comes right from the book. It's like there's no like making. It's not like his interpretation of shit. It's like this is like how the first 100 men and women did it, like the way that he supposedly does it or whatever. It's like, and it's like, so I just think like, yeah, when you're an addict and you're coming in, you're confused, you don't know what the fuck is going on. All these people are telling you like all their different opinions and theories about da da da. It's like. They need specifics, dude. Their brain is scrambled. They need an exact roadmap.
Well, and also the thing is sometimes they don't even know what their brain is, because I think a lot of times the addiction is still active. So the addict in them is still trying to manipulate.
Totally, that too.
And if you're enabling that, then you're doing what's already been done. Their families or their relationships or their partners have already been enabling them. So now you're just the next enabler.
Yeah.
And and that's even down to like when we bring people into program, the reason there's a blackout of the phone is not just because we're punishing you. It's because we're trying to remove the thing that's going to get you on the phone to call your drug dealer.
Yeah.
There's a reason behind it.
Yeah, the phone's hard, dude. Yeah, like every time I go to detox, it's like, can I have my phone? Like I always ask that because it's just like it's hard not to have your phone.
But then you make up the story about why you need your phone. But the reality is it's when you're triggered, you want to be able to access the Lyft, the Uber, the drug dealer, whoever it is.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I actually the last time I was in detox, it's so crazy. I did this, but like, I like ordered weed to the detox.
Of course you did.
Yeah, I ordered weed, and dude, I swear the craziest thing too was that like, I got a weed pen from the people that I was always getting them from, and they were like always fine, chill, whatever. And this one time that I ordered at the detox, I swear to God, it was like laced or something. I swear there was no. I swear there was just like something else in it, or like maybe it was what made right. I don't know what the fuck, but like this weed pen got me so high, bro, like way higher than it should have, and I like got caught, and I was like as I was already on benzos and Suboxone because I was detoxing from like hard shit. So I was already on meds that were getting me high as fuck, and then the weed probably just got me way higher, obviously. But it still got me too high. Like this is not normal. Like so then I got caught. Next morning they were like, dude, you were like up thumping around all night, like falling, like running, like this. What's going on? Like, and I was like,
And you know that's the hard part for us as the practitioners is that we're battling the addiction, and the addict doesn't even recognize that we're battling the addiction. They're just blaming us. And and I often have to say, even when I'm talking to the clients, I said, I didn't do any of this. What you're feeling right now, I had no involvement with. I'm just here to help you. And in the process of detoxing, you hate me. You hate me.
Do you have a detox here?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, sick.
So I have a detox, residential, transitional living,
Oh, dope.
and PHP.
Oh, cool.
So we have
It's
full
a
continuum
whole
of care.
thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I'm grateful for it because when we do have someone relapse at PHP, we already know their case, and then we take them back to the detox.
Okay,
And so it's
I
like,
got you.
and what's great is that this program is so specific and dynamic that this is the motivating factor in detox for people to stay clean, because they want to get back here so bad.
Right.
They want to come back and make music. They want to come back and create art.
That's sick.
Yeah, it's
That's
cool
dope.
that I never, when I created it, I didn't know that that's what it was going to do.
Yeah.
I just thought that this would be a great way to heal. I never knew that this was going to be the driving factor
To
for
motivate
people to stay
people.
sober.
That's cool. So I do want to say like one or two things that I've come to realize in my journey is like, I said what I said about AA. I am like pro AA. I'm not like trying to be the poster guy or anything like that. I'm not like you have to do this shit.
Sure.
I'm not saying I'm the greatest at it or anything like that, or have a million
you're just sharing your story.
I don't have a million sponsees. You know, that's part of the problem. Hit me up if you want to sponsor. I'm down. But what I'll say is I think for me the biggest thing this time around since the detox, you know, like 8-9 months ago or whatever, because I that's like I've been sober since February 12th. I'm not like I'm not. Thank you. I'm not like a big day counter. Like I just feel blessed to have a day, like any day of the week. Yeah, but anyway, so I thought they were gonna kick me out. I should say too, I thought they were gonna kick me out of the fucking detox when I ordered the weed pen. I was like, oh, they're gonna kick me the fuck out. Like there's no way, like that they're gonna let me stay. And then they asked me, they're like, bro, do you want to be sober? Like, do you want to be here? And I was like, yeah, dude, I do. Like, I do. I don't know. I just like, I'm a fucking addict. And they're like, okay, like you can stay. Cause I think I think like my saving grace maybe is like when I am fucked off or high or whatever, like I'm still pretty polite, like of a person. Like I have manners and I'm not like I'm nice. I'm like surface level, I'm a nice guy. Even if when I'm high, like I'm not like trying to be an asshole. Like I might do fucked up shit, but I'm not trying to be a dick. And I think I'm pretty polite. So like, I think they were like, no, we're not going to kick you out only because we like you as a person. Like, so we want to give you a chance.
Because it's hard when you have, I mean, we have people that aren't kind.
Right.
And they're not kind to us at all. So it's really hard, but we still have to, I have to just allow
you have to like filter that out
to say this is their addiction.
Yeah.
You know, because we've actually had, I mean, I've had everything you can think of. I've had people that I've had anti-Semitic, I've had anti-gay, and we've even had people in our program that work for us that say, hey, XYZ is doing XYZ, and then I just say, we're here for their healing. I'm not here for them to like me, support me, because I'm being a gay male. I'm just like, so at the end of the day, how do I bridge the gap between someone who hates gays? Well, I just help them and show them that I don't judge them, even though they judge me.
Right.
And at the end of the day, you have to walk away and say, that gay guy helped me become sober. Right. Guess what? We might have opened a window for them to go, oh, people are a little different than what I thought they were.
Yeah.
So, totally. and we had no problem.
That's cool.
Because it's like, I'm here to help. Not here to judge. Not here to decide who deserves to be sober and who doesn't. And it's interesting because it works to do it that way. And I think if people could take more of that just in life, the people, your enemies are really who you should be working with.
No, totally. I always just think too, like with I think like people that are like homophobic, transphobic, racist, like people that are actually like that's really the way that they operate and believe and think and believe. It's like I just can't. I can't relate to that, but also I just think
Well, it's
there's
just fear.
something more going on
It's
there.
fear. It's
There's
fear.
something more going on.
I think that people
like because if you like because to me, dude, it's like if you have a life, it's like why would you give a fuck if someone's black, white, Mexican, gay, trans? I don't care. I don't care. Do what you want.
It's fear. It's
Yeah.
like your insecurity is showing up in a way that you hate somebody. And the
Mhm.
reality
Oh,
is,
yeah.
is most of the time, the thing that we hate the most about someone is the thing that reminds us the most about ourselves.
Right. Yeah.
And maybe someone being gay could be that you identify with how much you wish you could be secure in yourself, and watching someone secure in themselves pisses you off.
Right.
It might not be that you closeted gay, because I think a lot of people are like, oh yeah, if you hate gays, you're closeted. No, it could just be that that really confident gay person really upsets you because you don't feel confident.
Yeah.
That you don't feel seen. You know,
Yeah.
that maybe they're the center of attention,
That makes
and you
sense.
wish you were the center of attention.
Yeah.
So you hate the person that's center of attention.
I never thought about it like that.
And then I think that even with racism, it's like, I think a lot of times, and I don't know if you know much about the caste system. Have you ever heard of the caste system?
Mhm.
About
Yeah,
like
yeah,
how that you know, blacks are in the caste system, and in India there's certain cultures that they think that certain demographics in their own culture is less than. And the caste system, it really comes down to, if someone else is less than me, then I'm not the least of the bunch.
Oh,
You know? So
yeah.
it's like, I think that racist can be like, okay, as long as black people are the bottom, then I'm not the bottom.
Right.
So I have to hold someone down for me to be
Mhm.
less than the worst.
Yeah, that's interesting. I never thought about it like that, but that's like that checks out.
Yeah. It
Um,
does check out, because it's like, even looking back at like slavery and segregation, that there were white populations that used to say that black people had diseases, that they carried bacteria, that they had tails, that they weren't human.
right.
But you didn't believe that, because that same woman was nursing your baby from her breast. Black women were nursing white babies from their breast. Black women were making your food. Black women were cleaning your house. Black women were serving you food, washing your dishes. So if you really thought they carried bacteria, you wouldn't have let them do any of that.
Right.
You were making that up so
Yeah.
that you could control a group of people.
Yeah, just to oppress somebody.
Totally, because
Yeah.
that's, as long as you can oppress someone else, then you're not
Yeah.
the least of the bunch.
Yeah, that shit's fucked. But
But it's
that
human
shit-
behavior. It's
yeah,
literally human behavior.
shit's
It's like it's
It's
I
fucked
know you
up,
are,
but
but what
yeah.
am I? You know, when we were
Yeah.
kids, they're like, I know you are, but what am I? As long as
Yeah.
I say that you're worse than me, then I'm winning.
That shit's fucked.
And I think that that's really where a lot of addiction comes from. Is I think that we all have these underlying insecurities
Yeah.
that we can't process, that we can't understand, and we
Mhm.
don't write down, and we don't share with our creativity, and we don't express, and it just builds
Right,
up. We're a
right.
pressure cooker.
Mhm.
So you continue pushing things down, and eventually you explode.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that too. Yeah, too. The one thing I wanted to touch on though that I like keep not get like fucking up on, but because I did want to say that I like am pro AA and shit, but I think what's made the biggest difference for me this time around since that fucking crazy detox when I ordered the weed and like all this shit was like this time around I think I finally got on like the right medications for me.
Yeah.
And I think that made a huge
Well, that means
fucking
addressing your
difference.
mental health.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that made a huge fucking difference. Like, I don't know, getting on the right meds, dude. Like, really, like, it really helps me. My meds really fucking
What
they
was,
help
if
me.
you don't
Like,
mind sharing, what was your diagnosis for, like, what meds were you being put on?
so I'm on Sublocade, which is like the buprenorphine
Yeah.
shot injection, and then because obviously I had like opiate struggles my whole life, so they were
Sure.
like, you should just be on this, and I was like, okay, cool. And then
And explain how that works.
so I guess it just like plugs my brain with buprenorphine so that like it like helps my cravings for opiates. It doesn't get me high. It's like Suboxone, but but Suboxone kind of can get you high and shit.
Sure.
Like it's there's also just like a lot of side effects with Suboxone. Like because it's more intense, it gets you kind of high. Also, there's like the side effects like constipation, these sort of things, like
Sure.
it's just more intense with it, especially when you're on it for a prolonged amount of time. It's not the most comfortable thing they taste horrible. Like, oh, if I ever taste another one of those strips, bro, I'll throw up. Like, I can't. That orange, nasty, fucking, ugh. But having to take that shit every day is just, I couldn't do it. So they're like, I found out there was like the shot, and I had a couple of friends get the shot, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm down and try it out. And I heard good things about it, so I got on that, and that like makes a huge difference. Like, I really think that the Sublocade shot like helps me not crave other drugs too. I think because and then the other one I'm on is Wellbutrin.
Sure.
And I think Wellbutrin is really interesting too, because it's like an antidepressant, but it's not an SSRI, it's not an SNRI. It's like Wellbutrin's like the only antidepressant of its kind, and it also works on like the dopamine, from what I've heard, like
Sure.
part of your brain more. And I think that's interesting that I feel like it helps me so much, because as an addict, I feel like the drugs that I was really addicted to work on dopamine, and so I think that was really depleted. So I think the fact that I'm on the Sublocade and that's like plugging my brain, so I'm not like craving opiates super gnarly, and I'm like not really craving other stuff as bad, and then the Wellbutrin's like kind of maybe giving me some dopamine, like, or like regulating the dopamine in my brain, is like, I think it sort of balances me out and I can feel normal.
Yeah.
Because like my addiction for like the last few years, it wasn't even about necessarily getting high. Like, I would just have this like depression where I'm not naturally like a sad guy. I'm like pretty optimistic. Like, I'm not really like gloomy, like, or I want to like blow my, I don't want to unalive my, I'm not really like that type of person. But like, even though my biggest song is called Suicidal, like, I'm not really actually like that sad all the time, gloomy type
But you've
of
had
person.
moments of suicidal
Oh
ideation.
yeah, totally. I mean, yeah, but I'm pretty optimistic is what I'm getting at. But I have this type of depression that's like anhedonia. It's like, nothing gives me pleasure. I don't want to do anything. I feel exhausted all the time. I'm tired all the time. Like, doing my laundry is like a huge trying to. It's like basic hygiene becomes like difficult. Doing my laundry, like doing anything productive, and it'll always hit, like, it would always hit right around like 6 months sober, or like 9 months sober. It would like, it always hit, bro.
The pink cloud effect is over.
Yeah, and that would hit, and I would just be like, fuck, dude. And I couldn't be productive, and it was like I was sober, but I couldn't be productive, and it would just like get to me so bad at a certain point. Also, I'd have things like, I was getting paid to do like a verse on a song, like a bunch of money. Like, all I had to do is like complete this thing, and like I would have gotten a bunch of money. I couldn't even do that, bro. Like,
so what's your advice to people when they hit that wall? When that 6 month wall hits and then you start feeling lethargic?
Well, dude, I mean, what I'm gonna say is kind of fucked up, because for me, I got on Wellbutrin.
Yeah.
And that shit helped.
Well, then
dude.
maybe your advice is to go seek medical help.
Yeah, because like realistically,
because there's sometimes you've gone as far as you can go.
Yeah.
And then you need some help.
Yeah, like, I think that along with like AA and like all this other stuff, like, I think it takes a village. Like, I think it takes a lot for an addict to get sober and stay sober, and I think it's like a miracle. And I think every day that I'm sober, like, I'm like shocked and amazed that I didn't get high that day. Like, truly, like, shocked and amazed.
But do you also congratulate yourself?
Yeah, I do. I also just think it's so crazy because, dude, I can get high so easy. Like, it doesn't take anything for me to get high.
I think that's it's easy for everyone. Like, we can all access most things.
Yeah. Like, it takes nothing for me to get high so easily. And like, the fact that I've been able to go this long, in my brain sometimes when I do get a craving, I'll be like, I do get cravings still a little bit here and there, especially if I'm not.
So
if I'm not feeling good physically.
When you have a craving, what's the first step? What do you do?
Well, I start, like, honestly, sometimes I talk to ChatGPT, bro. I'll be like,
yeah, it's okay.
I want to get high really bad, chat. Like, and then it'll just be like, it'll pass. Like, I don't know. Sometimes this stupid AI thing telling me like that this craving will pass in like 20 to 30 minutes. And just give me all these fucking statistics on it, like
reminding you, because the thing is, it is there is statistics that tell you exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes even for us to understand that we're not so different, that you have feelings of fear, I have feelings of fear, you have feelings of depression, so do I. And I think if we can actually relate to each other, then it gets back to what we were talking about, homeless people or people on the street, that we can look at them and say, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand where you're coming from. So I don't necessarily have to help you.
Right.
But I also don't need to take you down.
Totally.
If nothing else, I can just send a prayer up for you and say, I wish you the best, you know?
Yeah.
If you can help someone, great. But also just sometimes it's just about like, don't add to it. You know, like, and I've talked about it before on the podcast, is like, someone pulls out in front of you in your car, if before you blow the horn at them and say, fuck off, you can say, I've done that before. I've pulled out in front of someone before too. Probably didn't even see me, probably didn't even mean to. And just let it go. But we don't. We're reactive and say, fuck you, you pulled out in front of me. Well, if we've done the same thing, then surely we can relate and say, he might not have been just an asshole. Or he might have been an asshole because he's being an asshole today. I've been an asshole before. And I think if we can find that patience and understanding, then we can start going through life a little easier. You know?
The world would be a lot better place if we could all do that.
If we could just say like, oh wow, they're in a bad mood. I've been in a bad mood before.
Right.
I'm just going to leave them alone because they're in a bad mood. Not let me agitate them further. Because our egos want to agitate other people because we're offended by what they said to us. They disrespected us, you know. But ultimately, did they really? They just said something out
that
of
we
line.
didn't agree with.
Yeah, and it's okay. We can just turn around and walk away. And most of the time, that's the best solution. So ChatGPT helps.
Dude, so it's so weird. So, and then like I'll just like, I don't know, because it's like you can talk to that shit and it'll just tell you like, I'll just, because it's not like I don't feel weird because it's like this thing that doesn't it's not like I'm calling a person or something. It's like I'm not bugging anybody. I'm just like to myself, and but then I'll get to a point with it.
So would you feel awkward to call a person and say the same thing?
No.
Just
like,
say...
so that's what I was gonna say. Is like sometimes it'll get to the point where it tells me like you should call someone, or like because it knows like it's like
so
can filter through all this.
If you were giving advice to someone to call someone, then who is the person you call?
Yeah, I just call like my friend Melissa or like my friend Robbie or.
But what kind of friend
Jordan,
is that? Like, what is that friend? Like explain.
Just like I just call like another sober person. Yeah, I just call like another sober person.
Well, you know, because I think that a lot of people don't even think about that.
That is like the best thing you can do when you want to get high is call someone.
Well, like I had a friend, a family friend that in the last few weeks had said that they were suicidal, and I reached out to them and was chatting with them, and then they were sharing with me who they had called when they were in need, and the person they called when they were in need is the person that's causing them the harm.
Right.
So I have to remind people, like, that's not who you call.
Right.
When you're in a desperate moment, don't call the person that hurts you.
Yeah.
You know, because they're probably going to do what they typically do, which is hurt you.
Right.
So call the person that supports you. You
yeah.
know, find that person that is helpful. Find that person that gives you good advice.
Yeah.
And then keep them on your good advice list. It says,
Totally.
I need someone with good advice right now.
Yeah, that's a good point, dude. I feel like a lot of people don't have a wide array of people they can
I think
call.
that you might...
Sometimes people don't have that, you know.
Well, you might have had an abusive, family member, you might have an abusive mother or father, and then in your desperation...
You'll call them.
You're calling them, and they're going to say, you're a fucking loser. You're still doing the same shit over and over.
To call, yeah.
No, you need to call the person that says, I see you, and I believe in you, and you've done this, you've done a great job, let's keep it going.
Yeah, like I love my mom, but she's not really the person that I call.
And it's not about good or bad. It's just like, don't call the person that is tired.
Yeah,
don't call the person that's tired of hearing the phone calls.
Yeah, totally.
Call the person that welcomes it, says, I'm here anytime.
Right, yeah.
I'm going to stay on the phone with you and talk you through this.
Yeah, but so that was pretty much, I just wanted to say, like, touch on the medication piece and like it taking a lot, I think, to help somebody stay sober and like recover, like, and that I think it's like really like actually a way bigger miracle than I even think, or people even think, when somebody just stays sober for a day. Because it's like, if you're really like a knockdown, drag out textbook drug addict, like the statistical probability of you staying sober for like an extended period of time is not great. And
well, I think it's worth noting that I think that, of course we beat a dead horse with it. It's like about staying present. The reality is just stay present, that if you can get through this moment, then you get through the next moment. That's easy. Anybody can get through 1 minute or 2 minutes or 4 minutes.
Right.
It's when you start trying to like go through, I'm gonna stay sober for the rest of my life. Well, let's just start with right now.
Yeah.
Let's start with today you're sober. Do the work for you to remain sober.
I think also what I think about too when I get a craving is like, I'll be like, if I do get high, it's gonna be so hard for me to like there's a chance, right? Because like I'll say this, like in AA and like what the belief is that I'm a drug addict because my body is different than other people, not my mind, not my spirit, just my body. That I have an allergy to drugs and alcohol, which means that I react in an abnormal way to drugs and to using drugs and alcohol, which is that it creates the phenomenon of craving in me. That doesn't do that to everyone, but to me, because I'm an addict, it creates the phenomenon of craving. There are some substances that I can use that don't make me crave, right? Like some drugs that are recreational drugs, I just don't like them enough to start craving them. Like and so sometimes my brain, because it's so fucked, like the disease or whatever it is so cunning and baffling and whatever, it'll get in my head and be like, oh well, you can use this because it doesn't really make you crave. It doesn't.
Well, that's our brain's ability to program.
Yeah.
Because even things that are bad for us, we still, I mean, like the thing is even people that have a craving for speed, that you're driving a car really fast, it's really dangerous. And the outcome is that you could die painfully by being like ripped apart.
Yeah, it's like 50-50. Like you could die, you might not. But you could.
The endorphins that come from it, your brain says, wow, that was really cool.
So that's the hardest part for me, I think, that I struggle with today. Like if anything was going to get me high or take me out, it would be the thing where my brain is like, oh well, you can do these certain substances that don't create the phenomenon of craving in you. But the thing is, even with that being said, I do think it may be possible for addicts to do substances that don't create that in them. But the problem is it's like 50-50.
Well, but it's also
like 50-50. It's like I could do a line of some drug that I don't really give a fuck about, and I could be okay. Like I might not start doing drugs a bunch, but I might start.
But also because it might not be the allergic reaction that happens, but then drugs always diminish your ability to make good decisions. Because then now it's lessened your ability to make great decisions. Then you say, oh, let's do the drug that I don't do well with because your inhibitions have been brought down.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just about knowing to not go into the situation. It's like it's like dating the same person again. You're like, okay, this person's really beautiful and fun, but I also know where this goes.
Yeah.
I know that it's going to be great for 6 months, and then at month 7, we're going to be fighting.
Yeah.
And then by year 3, we're going to be at each other's throat all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, the beginning's always great.
But what's weird is like this time around when I get that like thought that I was just talking about, which normally in my other sobrieties, if I got to this point where I was doing this well, that would be probably the one that the thought that took me out was that like, oh, I can do this line of ketamine because I don't really like ketamine that much. I can take it or leave it. Like I don't really give a fuck. But I would be like, I can do this little bump of ketamine because I don't give a fuck. It doesn't make me crave all of a sudden. But it's just like, it's 50-50 for me. Like I could do the ketamine and I could be fine and like be fine for the next 9 months, a year, or I could do that little bump and then for some reason end up doing the Xanax a week later or whatever, because in my mind I just rationalized that one thing. So now I'm like, it's easier for me to rationalize that other thing. And so now when I have that moment, like I just sit there and I'm like a little bit more conscious of the fact that it's 50-50 and it's so fucking hard for me to get out of it once I'm in it. But I think once I'm in it, I'm fucked, bro. And then once I'm in that like vicious cycle of addiction, like it's so hard to get out of that. So it's like in that moment, like I just try to process, like play the tape out and realize like, okay, no. I have like this many days sober right now. Like it's a 50-50 shot that if I do that bump, I'm going to be cool or not be cool. Yeah. I'm just going to err on the side of like safety with this and not fucking do it. And I don't know what's different about that this time other than I'm on these certain medications. Yeah. Like for me, like that's one of the biggest differences. Like, I also do have a sponsor. I do like go to meetings here and there, but my program's not that great. I'll be honest. I want it to be better. Something I'm working on right now is like getting more back into it.
Yeah.
But the only thing that's really different that I feel like allows me to make that judgment call in that moment is being on these medications. And so I'm like, okay, maybe if you get your brain chemistry corrected, it gives like an addict or someone struggling with all this shit just like that 1% better ability to make a decision. Because really, I feel like a lot of what it comes down to too is like we're just really not great at making good decisions. These certain types of people like us, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And like maybe if you get the brain chemistry a little bit better with medications, it's like it might just make you 10% better at making good decisions.
Well, are you willing to dive in a little bit more to see what little t and what big T traumas that you might have? Because
yeah, I kind of already know, to be honest.
just knowing or processing are two different things.
Like, I can tell you, honestly.
Well, I'm just saying that, like, even speaking to you about wilderness, I mean,
yeah.
The thing is did you feel abandoned when you got sent to wilderness?
Yeah.
Have you processed that?
I don't know, dude. I've been to like a lot of therapy.
Well, because I mean, I think that when you went there,
really don't know.
What did
like
it feel like when you were there? Did you feel like that you weren't being seen or heard?
I fucking hated it.
But I'm saying
I didn't necessarily think that I wasn't seen or heard. It's also very hard for me to remember. I was super young, but I just like I didn't want to be there was the biggest thing. Like I wanted to be home, like going to parties, being a normal teenager.
What was your feeling towards your
I didn't want to
parents?
be like in the woods.
Even
like,
now, what's your feeling towards your parents about that?
I've forgiven my parents about that to an extent. To an extent, I think the only thing that still comes up for me, like with my parents about the woods, is like I have a pretty fucked up stomach. Like I have kind of bad stomach problems, and when I was in the woods, they made us eat like horrible shit, bro. Like, I mean, like they just give you like beans and rice, just plain beans and rice, like refried bean, but they were like hard, and the rice was hard.
What did that feel like?
Like they wouldn't properly hydrate it. They would just tell you put this beans and rice in cold water with some hot sauce and just get it down, and you'll be okay. You'll live. You can.
So, but how does that feel for someone to say you'll just do this and you'll just live? It won't be enjoyable.
It's horrible. It's like what? Like what? What the fuck?
Did you tie that to your family?
I think in like a little bit, I can't help but be a little resentful, only because like I still have stomach problems, and part of me goes like, that might have been what fucked my stomach up originally, was like eating this.
So when you have when you have stomach problems now, like when you're upset stomach or if something's hurting you, do you have this resentment that says this is?
I'll have this little ping sometimes. It's just like, fuck, mom, like why'd you have to send me that shit?
So then that sounds like a little T trauma that's just,
that's
lingering
like
there.
yeah. It's not still a huge. I wouldn't say that the woods is like still a huge.
So do you have that?
Me, but it's like
does
a
that
little
manifest in relationships like that? Where you find people ignoring your feelings. That's obviously someone ignoring your feelings of like having an upset stomach and making you do these things.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that. Yeah, I mean, like that. Sometimes that does come in a relationship with me.
Do you create resentment from that? Then is it how these people are making you feel?
Yeah, I do. To be honest, it's really ironic that you said that because I'm having that issue with somebody in my life right now. But I also do fuck with people that treat me well and like don't make me feel like that. Like that is that is what I want.
People that don't, right?
I fuck with people that treat me well sometimes, and then sometimes don't.
Yeah.
And I do like I get resentful when they don't. And I'm like, bro, like I do a lot for you. Why you gotta be like this? You know what I'm saying?
And then the thing is do you do a lot for them to try for them not to treat you that way? You're like, if I do things for you, you won't hurt me.
No, I'll still do things for them sometimes in a self-seeking manner, like, or not self-seeking manner, but with self-seeking agenda behind it.
What's
like,
the agenda?
Well, if I do all this nice shit for you, you're gonna return the favor in some way.
That's codependency.
Yeah, like maybe not necessarily in the same way, but in some way
But the thing is that you do know that you deserve it without doing that.
No, yeah.
You deserve for people to do nice things for you just because.
Totally.
It's not tit for tat. The thing is your value. One of the things that I'm probably going to write a book that says this, is you're valuable from the beginning.
Yeah.
And even before the beginning, because your value's not earned.
Right.
We're not out here trying to make a hit album.
Right.
trying to get validation that I deserve this, that we're in the gym trying to get our body perfect so that you can say, oh, you're worth me dating.
Right.
And it's not, if you buy me things and buy me dinners, then I'll be nice to you.
Right. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
that we're just inherently deserving of people to be kind to us.
No. Yeah. Totally.
Period. And when you say your stomach's upset, someone should hear you and say, "Oh, let's do something to change that."
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
No. Totally.
There's no
Dude.
way to learn something that says your stomach's upset. Keep doing this, even though it's going to upset your stomach, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. 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 So
There's no point in it. There's no need for it. There's no way that you should have to torture someone through something for them to learn a lesson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's as simple as like you deserve to be loved, and you should be loved, and we should do it in return for each other. It shouldn't be. It's not tit for tat. And the thing is we should also decide our relationships by, are they the person that does those things for me?
Right.
I do great things for my friends. Do they do great things for me?
Right.
If they don't, I don't have to even be upset about it. I just don't hang out with them.
Yeah. No. I
You
feel
don't.
that.
You don't deserve my friendship because
Yeah.
it's a two-way street.
Yeah.
We should be kind to others, and we should attract people that are kind to us.
Yeah. No. I feel that. I
And
think.
then set a clear boundary that says, if you're not nice to me, you don't get to be in my life.
Yeah.
I don't care
I
who you
think.
are.
I like what you said about like you have value from the beginning.
Well,
Like,
even before that, think of this. And I know you know young girls that dream of getting married, or you've heard kids say they can't wait to have grandkids, or they can't wait to be a mother. That means that you were valuable before someone even created you. There's some kid that's dreaming about the day they're going to get married and have kids.
Yeah.
You're so valuable. They dreamed about it. They're dreaming about it.
Yeah.
They're making every decision to go to school and to get married so that they can have you. That's how valuable you
Oh
are.
yeah. That's the
You
truth.
literally, there's kids sitting there
Yeah.
going, I can't wait till the day that I have a house with kids in it.
Right.
That means that you're really fucking valuable.
Yeah. Yeah.
People are dreaming about
Yeah.
it.
No, I like that because like I do think a lot of people's issues like definitely stem from like liking themselves and self love and that kind of shit. And I've definitely made a lot of progress with that. I'm not perfect, but I can walk away from toxic shit today. Like actually, which is crazy.
You
'cause, like,
can or can't.
I can.
Yeah.
Which is crazy for me because I also struggle with like some sex addict shit. So it's like I used to not be able to do that.
So
Like
what
with
is-
girls, like if I was gonna get laid, even if they put me through the most horrid shit or whatever, and they were like cute or whatever, I would just like fuck with them anyway. Now it's like I just bro.
So
Like
have you ever thought-
now it's like if I try to tell you nicely enough times and you're still not treating me the way I want to be treated, I just cut you. Like
Well, tell me this. So, and then you mentioned cute. You're cute, and if you get laid or whatever. So, have you ever broken down why that is?
what?
You said that it's about if they were cute, and you could possibly get laid no matter how they treated you. You wanted it. Have you ever broken down what that means for you?
I mean, I know I'm like that.
But what is it about a cute girl and you getting laid by her that brings value?
Oh, I would just say the actual, like,
Do you feel like that if you could have sex with that cute person, that makes you valuable?
no, no. The weird thing for me, I think, with a lot of the sex addiction stuff is like, I think for me personally, like, all of this is true that I'm like doing certain things for relief, right? Maybe on a deep level, but it's like for me with a lot of it, it's like not even that deep really. It's like a lot of the time it's just that heroin feels good, like when it hits your, you know what I mean, and sex, like just kissing and like doing like all that shit, it just feels, it's like it's fun and it feels good. And
But could you do that with one person, or you need to be with multiple people?
no, I could do it with one person.
So, and how often are you?
I am more of like an open type person. Like me personally, I do prefer like committed but like open things, kind of like personally,
just
but
relaxed, so you're not so stressed about
yeah,
being attracted to someone.
yeah, like
outside
I
your
don't want to
relationship.
like control. I don't want to like control someone all crazy and be
So do
all,
you
like,
feel the same way about them?
yeah, like I want them to be able to do their thing, and to be able to do my thing. Like ideally, like I think that my like dream relationship would be one where it's like we're committed with one another, or maybe we have like, you know, we have a thing,
a loose relationship.
Yeah, but it's like we're each other's main
Sure,
person, you know,
sure.
and then, but we're just not telling each other what we can and can't do. Like, because I don't want to,
So
like,
then, so then,
I don't have any interest at this point in my life in like trying to control someone really.
so
Like,
then, what part of that are you considering sex addiction then?
oh well,
Is it compulsive behaviors? Is it?
no, I mean, I just like, no, it's not really. I wouldn't necessarily say like that part's the. Well, still, that's actually interesting that you asked this because like sometimes I'll struggle with like, am I actually a sex addict? Because it's like some people just are more
Did
open.
someone tell you you're a
Like
sex
some
addict, or
people,
you decided you're a sex addict?
well, I think the reason that I decided like I had some of, I went to like SA meetings
Yeah.
and salon meetings, and like when they read the like criteria or like the what is a set, like I definitely checked a bunch of the boxes. You know what I mean? Like I did check off a bunch of the boxes, and I think like I just it's like, oh, because I do think at times, like especially when my depression is worse, like before I was on the Wellbutrin and it was a little better and stuff. When my depression is like at its worst, I'm so like hypersexual. Like my libido is like going fucking crazy, and I'll like act out. You know what I mean? I'll pay for it. I'll like
And then how do you feel afterwards?
depending on the manner of transactionalness, like if it's a thing where like we do have like a connection, me and the person, and like a relationship, then I'm like more like okay with it to an extent. I'm not the type of person that wants to just like pay someone I don't know to come over and like I don't want to just like use your body. Like that's kind of weird for me. Like I'm not just not into that. I'd rather like do it with somebody I know and I'm friends with and like this kind of thing or whatever or like just people that yeah. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. But I just think like I
You think it's for a connection then? Do you think it's lack of connection when you're depressed that you feel like you're trying to connect with someone?
no, I think it's like I'm just trying to feel something that
You're trying to
makes
get a
me
dopamine hit from
yeah no yeah that's like
it.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's that, but it's yeah it's I'm trying to get a dopamine hit and like I just like the I
Do you have
like
any
I
other
like touching. I like
do you
you
have
know what
any
I mean.
other
It's just like the,
dopamine
I think the
hits?
what is it sensory like it's
Yeah.
just
Do you have any other dopamine hits or any sensory things that you try to accomplish as well?
um
Like speed or heights or
well yeah I mean like kind of I mean I like snowboarding and like that kind of
well
shit
that's
and
just athleticism.
yeah but I guess I think you do get like a dopamine hit you know
Sure.
from snowboarding that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
but that's just it. Is I think that even in programming, we try to teach people.
Skateboarding I
Well, there's
skateboard I
dopamine hits in
skate
creating music. Like it's like we
yeah
want to teach healthy dopamine hits.
right
There's really
yeah
healthy ones.
yeah
The reason, like going on a hike, that is strenuous. That
yeah
you're getting that last bit is hard. When you get to
mhm
the top and recover, that's the hit. That's like,
mhm
and it's really I think your body is in the fight or flight mode. You're thinking I'm gonna die.
mhm
Then when you don't die, it goes, wow, you didn't
mhm
die. Wow, what a rush. We're not dead.
mhm
And I think that that's important for us to understand that. We're not trying to avoid dopamines.
right
We're trying to get
go about it
healthy
healthier
ones.
yeah
And
yeah
even serotonin, it's like we're not trying to stop serotonin from flowing because there's people that do MDMA and get all the serotonin to rush.
right
But, and even oftentimes, I don't think people realize that the drugs aren't even what's getting you high. The drugs are activating what's already in you.
mhm
So you're capable of feeling every bit that you ever felt from a drug without the drugs.
yeah I would
That's
say
my breathing exercises. You can put
yeah
yourself into a fight or flight mode to where you're astral projecting. You're literally
yeah
floating above the crowd and you can look down and see yourself. That's tripping
yeah
without drugs.
yeah
Everything that we feel, endorphins, testosterone, serotonin, it's all sitting inside our body, ready to be
yeah
distributed.
I would like disagree. I know a lot of people feel that way. Me personally, I I don't like necessarily. I'm not on that same thing, but I do like believe it's like the way to recover is from to find healthier routes of
Sure.
getting dopamine. I just like I never been like the type of person that's like oh, there's a natural way to feel as high naturally as shooting up heroin gets
Of
me.
course not.
Like, you know what I mean?
Because it's not natural for you to feel it at that level. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Is
Yeah.
your serotonin is meant to make you happy.
Right.
It's not meant to make you so fucking happy that you can't stop smiling and everyone in the room says, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
You're meant to have a certain amount every day,
Yeah,
not all of it for
Yeah.
the whole week in one day.
Yeah.
That's why drugs are so difficult to even live with, is that if you're taking MDMA and your body releases all your serotonin, then that's why Tuesday's really hard.
Yeah.
Because you don't have any serotonin left.
Yeah.
And your body's not making it anymore for a few days.
Yeah.
So you're depressed.
Right.
The reality is it's about learning how the machine works, working it to its capacity, because we all don't need major dopamine hits. We need a little bit of dopamine.
Right.
We need a little bit of serotonin.
Yeah.
We need a little bit of joy. We need a little bit of sex. We need a little bit of food. We need a little bit of water.
Right. Like a healthy amount.
You can literally overdose on water.
Yeah. So that was one thing I was gonna say. It was like when you asked me about the sex addiction stuff. Like when I
sex is healthy and should not be. We shouldn't avoid it.
Right. When I'm on the like Wellbutrin and I'm not like depressed like that, like my sex habits or like my behavior in that department is like, it is way better.
A big thank you to Wett Brain for sharing his powerful journey of turning music and perseverance into mental health advocacy.